Hey, this is Mr. Michael with the Learning Groove here for part 3 of our Facebook tutorial. So we have now, in the first two videos, created a Facebook fan page, and we've learned how to create an HTML tab on our fan page that becomes our home page. Now let's add a couple of other tabs. We're going to come over here. We're back home at our home of our Facebook page. Keep in mind this Get Started tab is only there for you. No one else sees that, and of course once you finish all these things it'll go away if you choose to. But let's come over here into the photo and click Edit Page. Once again we're going to go down to Apps, and we'll find the FBML tab right here. So we're going to go to App. Now here's what we already created, TLG classes with all the crazy HTML code in there. Down at the bottom, it's not so obvious to see, it says you can add another FBML box. And now down there I clicked it and it says that now I have a new FBML box. Alright, unfortunately it's not so intuitive as to take you right to it. That would be nice. So now I'm going to come up back to my main page. I clicked up there. I have to do it all over again. Edit Page, Apps, and now you'll see we have our original TLG classes-FBML, and here's a new one, FBML1. So once again, we're going to go to App, and this one is blank. So let's call this one Class Schedule, and we're going to paste our code right in there. So I'm going to take you to our next Google Doc, which if you go to your list of Google Docs, and we're here in the folder TLG Files and Tools for Teachers and Licensees, and then under Sample Templates, this is what's shared with you when you become a teacher or licensee, you will see Sample TLG Class Schedule page for Facebook. I'll click that and open it. And since this is read-only for you, for me it's not, but you know, I own a company, so I get little privileges. Anyway, you come over here, File, Make a Copy. You don't have to click Also Copy Document Collaborators, or else you'll be copying us on your document, which you don't want to do. Now that you've got a copy, you can call it whatever you like. I'm going to call this Test for Video, like I did the last one. Of course, you'll call it whatever you want. And you can edit your class details as you wish. Once again, to change the URL for the link there, you can just click Change and enter it right in here. Just delete that and put whatever website you want to have your directions for. I'm going to cancel that though. Alright, so now that we have this beautiful document that I've already made, and you can of course do whatever you want, this is just a template. I'm going to select it all. Do Command-C or Control-C on a PC. And then we're going to come over here to our HTML maker. By the way, I do recommend having several tabs or windows open at one time. It makes it a lot easier. Let's go back to our editor. This is our old thing that we did. I'm going to select all by doing Apple A or Control A and delete it all. Now let's paste that new stuff in here. And boom, we have our class details. But for some reason this is out of whack. And if I just select it and center it, for some reason it puts it down there. I can't say why, but I'm pressing undo. So I'm going to click after it, press return. Now it will work for some reason. Then I come back here and go back. This is just a little glitch that I've discovered. Alright, so that's looking good to me. I'm going to come over here and grab my code. Click in here anywhere. Apple A or Control A is to select all. And then Apple C or Control C is to copy. Let's go back to our Facebook page. Here we go. I'm going to paste all that crazy code in there. Scroll down. Save changes. Alright, and then if I come over here to my test page and refresh, then now I've got TLG classes, photos, discussions, and this little arrow. There's my class schedule. Well, I don't think I want my class schedule that far, so I'm going to click it and drag it right next to TLG classes. Now for some reason it gets a little wacky there. I always just refresh and it looks okay. Can't explain why. Alright, so now we have our wall and our info, which can't be moved. TLG classes, which on my TLG classes I put the class details there too. The only reason I put a another tab for class schedule is because some people have smaller computers and they might not know to scroll down. So this way, voila, you've got your class schedule there. It's still loading. There's the logo. And now we're going to create one more tab that has our enrollment information and procedures. So let's come back over here. Well, I've had two tabs open. Let me go back to the home page here. All right, we're going to go back to Edit Page and add a new tab. Come to Apps again. Scroll down. We can go to either one of these. Notice now this one says Class Schedule and this one says TLG Classes. You can go to either. Go to App. Down here, add another FBML box. All right, you have successfully added it. So now let's go back. Edit Page. Apps again. And now we have a new one, FBML1. So we're going to go to that app. You know, of course, down here is our TLG classes and our class schedule right there. So let's go to FBML1. We're going to call this one Register. Now, you don't want to make it a long title there. I had once tried Register for Classes, but that ended up getting cut off because the tabs only go a certain width. So you want to keep really short titles. Now here we're ready for our HTML again. Let's see what we want to do. Let's go back to our Google Docs. Okay, I'm going to close out of this. And back to our Google Docs. Here I'm back in the same folder. We're going to look for a sample registration page for Facebook. I'm going to click that. Once again, since yours is read-only and you can't edit it, you have to come over here, click Make a Copy, and title it as you will. I'm not going to do that right now for the sake of this video. So what I've done here, I put a whole bunch of stuff dealing with registration, and I tried to make it as clear as possible. Step 1, read the terms and conditions. If I click on that, and if I click this link, this is in our edit mode, of course, then here's terms and conditions, which I've created. So there's a little bit of stuff here you're going to need to know about that, but we're going to come back to that in a second. Step 2 is register. Now for me I have 3 locations, so I said for the location of your choice you might just have register here, you know, for your one location. And I made each one of these a clickable link to a Google form. I'll show you. Takes you to registration form that I've created. Now we also have samples of these for you. Okay, scrolling down, step 3 is pay online. So we're going to do a PayPal tutorial in another video. And the way I have this set up seemed the simplest for me was to click here to pay $165, which is my rate for a 10-week session. And I made clear to enter your name, child's name, and class location in there when they pay on PayPal. Click here to pay $300 for 2 children, and then here for an alternate amount. And we're going to look at that later in our PayPal tutorial. Notice I don't have any actual links here. I didn't want you to have your parents or your students accidentally pay me if you forgot to change those links. Be sure you change all these links. Okay. And I put my rates here and any discounts that I offer and my contact information. So pretty straightforward. We're going to once again click anywhere in here and do Apple A to select all, or Control A on a PC. And then I'm going to do Control C or Apple C to copy. Come over here to HTMLmaker.net. Click back on the editor. Let's delete all this. Select all and delete. Control V. Pasted it all in there. Alright, once again, for some reason the logo is justified left, so I'm going to go just after it, press enter, click it, center, and then come over here and press backspace or delete, and now it lines up just right. So there we go. Looking good. If you find anything looks a little funny, you can always click around and play with it. There's a full editor right here. Click on code, click in there, Apple A or Control A to select all, Apple C or Control C to copy, and let's go back to here where we have our FBML box. Paste. This is our register page. Scroll way down, save changes, and let's come over here where I have a different window. It's just easier that way for me. And now we have, if we look in this arrow here, there's our register page. I want that to be right after class schedule personally, so I just put it there. Once again, it's all wacky, so I'm going to refresh, and it looks pretty normal. Okay, and then the last thing we have here is photos and discussion. To everyone else, they'll see photos because they won't see this Get Started tab. So once you've done all this, it's good to check all your links. Click, make sure that everything's working. Here's my Google map for the Jewish Community Center where I teach, and etc., etc. Here's our registration page, looking pretty good. All right, so I'm going to click my terms and conditions to make sure it works. Looking good. I'm going to close out of that. Looks like we're getting backed up here. Spinning wheel. Okay, I'm going to try one of these registration forms. How about we try my third location? Looking good. Buckhead. And once again, I left this without a link for the moment. Alright, so this has been our next tutorial on Facebook. We're going to have another tutorial about how to set up your enrollment in more detail. We've shared a bunch of documents with you, so stay tuned and happy teaching.